What's going on, YouTube? There we go. Well, it says we have 2 people in here. And a loud bird in the back.
She's freaking weird. I'm telling you.
Let's see. It's loading. Says I'm live. Am I live? That's the question of the night. Flash Dragons, what's going on? Now I know I'm live. So, if you didn't hear just a second ago, it sounded like we had a bird in the house.
Upside down bird.
Do you guys hear that? Sounds kind of like something's dying in here. Blakers, Pythons, what's going on? Welcome to the channel.
You want to see whenever you get onto YouTube.
What the heck are you
TJ's Reptile World, what's going on? I'm dealing with the cookie one over there. I don't know there. And I don't know there. So, that's what I'm dealing with. So, I want to welcome you guys to Morph Monday, but I want to let a few more people show up before we actually get going on this little mini adventure. So, let's go ahead and talk about what you guys have been up to today. What have you been up to? Me, just had a day at work on a Monday, got 4 more days for the rest of the week, and then it's the weekend again. You got 2 monkeys. Yes, I do. I got 2 monkeys and a bird.
No, she's a pigeon. Or no, she's a duck.
I'm scared of squirrels.
She's a squirrel.
No, don't remind me of the squirrel that lives right next to our house that tries to kill me.
TJ says, can he have one? Right there. You might even be able to feed her to your boa.
No!
They found my stash! She found my chocolate!
Wait, she has...
Uh-oh. Something's going down in DCR.
No, it's mine!
She tried to stash chocolates underneath paper.
No, guys, it's the best chocolate.
Hey, I didn't even get one.
I already put it in my mouth.
I want mine.
Good!
We ate at Olive Garden. They tried to hide it and wouldn't let me have one.
I tried to hide
They
it.
left evidence because I found 2 empty wrappers on the table last night.
Oh, that one was me.
Yeah, along with me.
So I got it. Now it's mine.
I got it.
Oh, the things I deal with. Seems like they're scramming. Yep. They're scheming. That's what it is. Scheming. So,
373.
I've been thinking, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not.
I think I scared all of them away.
I need to get rid of all this. I'm going to clean it out real good. And I might put this girl right here into that terrarium. Just to see how she does. She was in there when she was smaller, but not now. That way I'll have 1 empty tub. So, I'm going to probably... We might do this on Wednesday night. And I'll empty it out before Wednesday. And then I'll show you how I will clean it. And we'll get it all set up Wednesday and then move her over. How does that sound? Or a bearded dragon enclosure. That actually used to be,
Now,
well,
what do you want? If you do that, I'm
That-
really going to be mad.
what? Oh. That used to be a bearded dragon. No, because I got rid of the bearded dragon and the enclosure at the same time. But I had one just like that for the bearded dragon when I had a bearded dragon. So, so somebody's going to be mad because somebody's got a loaded rubber band here.
Oh, well, we're
She missed you guys. You guys are lucky. I have about 60 bearded dragons. Well, you can keep them. I don't want to have to deal with insects. I'd rather deal with rats. But, yeah. And of course, the bearded dragons also eat all your greens too. So, I like my snakes and I like my rats.
I want a teacup. What?
And I like my
I called this a broom earlier.
I like my bird, wherever you're at, and the two monkeys over there.
Who's a monkey?
Me. And me.
No, you two are the monkey. According to my viewers, you two are the monkey, and she's the bird. So, I don't know. That's just what's going on. So, well, it looks like we're going to stick with 4 for a while. So we're going to go ahead, get Morph Monday started, and we're going to go ahead and put some males with some females. I went ahead and I'm going to introduce a different male in with one of my females because I've had this classic in with this female a couple times and they don't seem to care for each other. So I'm just going to try out a little plan to see if it works.
It doesn't work.
And then we're going to further my pied project and put her or him back in with another het. So let's go ahead and get this started. So we're going to go ahead and do the pied to het pied first. So
Don't you dare.
Azriela, knock it off.
Guys, tell Faith to knock it off.
this here, of course, you know him as Billy the Kid, is my pied male. He shed, so hopefully he'll lock up with the female. Of course, that female being his mama. So he already shed and did his little bowel movement after the shed, so he's all cleaned out and good to go. So we're going to go ahead and throw him in with Zerelda. Hopefully he can get something done this time.
Stop.
So Zerelda is right here.
Trying to ignore you. Is not
I know he knows what to do because he did lock up with Bonnie, the female albino, already. So hopefully he'll go in there and get that job done. So I need to put a sticker on there because since I've just started this, I need to mark down the pairing. So I'm going to get some stickers. I'll be right back.
How's it going?
Alright. So I got some stickers here.
Reagan, socks and shoes.
And I'm going to go ahead and write down today's date, which is 12/3.
No.
Just like,
Socks and shoes.
well, you can't hardly see it. There you go. 12/3. That way, I know when I put him in with her. Stick it right there. So that one's done. So, next, what are we going to do? We are going to pull out one of these males that has the same temperament as the female because they're both real shy. So maybe that'll make them lock up. But I'm talking about none other than Richard, the Iceman Kuklinski. He has been off food, so I know he's ready to lock up. He is plenty big enough. That is my yellow belly male. So we're going to throw him, the yellow belly male, in what the Iceman. Is that a true story? Yes, that is. Richard the Iceman Kuklinski. That is a true story. He is a serial killer. You can look him up on YouTube, and they got several different videos about him. They have interviews with him. He is literally
What are you doing?
the Iceman. He's known to be the Iceman because he stuck one of his victims in a freezer for 2 years and then took that person out of the freezer, put him outside to be found, and they called him the Iceman because he was not fully defrosted by the time that they found him, and the coroners found ice in the body. True story. So, we're going to put this yellow belly, Richard Iceman Kuklinski, in with Edna Murray, the Poss genetic blackback. And that's going to have to wait a minute, so you guys are going to get to see me clean the tub, because I'm about to clean one. So we'll put him back in his tub for a minute. Can you get the trash can for me?
Please.
Please. Let me get my solution and paper towels. You guys are going to get to see me clean for a minute.
You're going to take the trash out tonight.
Hopefully you don't mind.
Reagan. You're not taking them off.
Put the water
It's not your
out.
shoes. Who wants a kid? 2?
I'll give you all 3.
Goodness gracious.
This is my female possible genetic blackback. I think she will prove out. But she's being kind of a pain. And hopefully she'll start locking. Which I'm going to watch out because when I first got her, of course she was in shed. She bit the owner, but she's never struck at me. So we're going to put her over here for a minute. And then I'm going to clean her tub. As you can see, she did go potty. So we're just going to pull this thing out. Use chlorhexidine, dine, whatever you want to call it. Spray it in there real good. Get it cleaned out, wipe it. This stuff works pretty good. I was using F10, decided to go with something else, but that's alright. I got F10 and I got this in case I want to use something different. But I've had good luck with this. I always try to get all the wet stuff the first time. There might be a little bit of residue or wetness in there, so what I do is I go back with the dry one. Finish it out. And get that all wiped down and dry. Then, all I gotta do is come over here. Get me a piece of paper. Stick it in. Kind of push the corners in. Good to go. This water was recently changed, so I'm not worried about it. I'll put her back
Yeah, well, stop the shoes. You guys are not taking them off.
in her tub.
Then you can stay home. How's that?
And then
Deal?
I will pull Richard back out. Come here, buddy. And put him in with her. Hopefully get some genetic blackback yellow bellies. Or some more yellow bellies. Female yellow belly will work. And I'm not worried about the genes mixing because all I did was put a classic in with her the first time. I'm putting a yellow belly in with her this time. So it's not like there's any special. It might be a little bit of a mystery clutch if she does lay, but it don't matter who the dad is because she's either going to prove out or she's not. If it's a yellow belly, I know who the dad is. If it's not, then I know who the dad is. So I'm going to put 12, 3 on an orange sticker. And what I'm going to do, just so I know who's locked up and who isn't, I haven't done this yet because I just came up with this. I'm going to go ahead and put his sticker on this side. I'm going to move this to this side, his name tag over here. The yellow belly's name tag's going to be here. That way I know who I put in there on what date and if they locked up or not. Take that red dot off because that's what I mark. When I come home, I go through all my tubs. If they need cleaned, I'll put a red mark on there. Or any mark with a erase marker. That way, all I got to do is go through, okay, yes, I got to clean it, mark it. And then when I'm done marking, I count up to see how many I got to clean. That way I kind of know what's going on in my head. Oh, I got 10 to clean, or I got 4 to clean, or I got 15 to clean. Then I know how long it's going to take me to get them all done. So that is why I use the red dot. So, does anybody have any questions about the pairings I just did? I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands because we did clean a tub. But that's going to pretty much do it for Morph Monday today. Now, for Table Talk Tuesday, I think we're going to talk about what you need to do if you want to start breeding your rats, your own rats. And we're going to start from a one-tub system. That way, you can start with one tub and then build your rack in the meantime. So, let's go in here. Let's take a look at my one-tub rack, and we'll go over it. Dimensions, I won't worry about unless you guys want to worry about the dimensions. I'll just kind of show you what I did. Well, I just turned it off. I meant to turn it back on. Alright, so. And of course, I'm not that prepared because it has a saw on it. But that saw can be moved easy. Now, I use this tub when I clean all my other tubs. What I do is I pull one of these tubs out. I put all the rats that's in there into that tub. That way, as I clean, I just move everybody up one tub. But I try to pick the top or the bottom. Whichever one has less rats in it is the one I use. So, what I do, or what I did, if you want to start breeding your own rats, you can start with one tub. That way you can kind of get the hang of things. You just get you some I use 2x4s. You can use 2x2s. It does not matter. You can have this board here. What I measured was the inside to the inside on the back. That is this board's length. This was just the width of here. And then I just like to have different hoppers. One for my food, and that's where my water spout would go. But if you're only doing one tub to breed rats, you can just put a water bottle in there, be fine. There's no food or nothing in this because there's typically no rats in here for any extended period of time. They're only in here for about 15-20 minutes and they go right back in their other tubs. But I have 4 legs on here. As you can tell, it's not that tall because you don't need it to be that tall. I also have 2 railings right here, 2x4s. It's got a little bit of space there. As you can tell, this is a Home Depot tub, but I did not want to go all the way to Lowe's just for one tub to do this because I knew all of my rack space was full, so I needed somewhere to put my rats. And this here was a better solution rather than trying to put them in a tub, like a clear tub. So that's what I do there. Plus I put a leg on the very back. That way this has somewhere to stop. It can't go anywhere past that. So, and I normally keep this in there. Are you able to put the baby wing together in one tub or separate? You mean after I take them out together as far as male, female? Is that what you're meaning? I don't know what you're meaning there. If you tell me what you mean, I'll answer that. But we'll go ahead and get that up. Does anybody have any questions as far as building a one tub rack? Or why you should start with one tub? One reason why you could start with one tub is if you just want to get your feet wet and see what it takes to see if you're interested in actually breeding more. Because it'll benefit you having that one tub rack there, because if you build one rack and you got to clean, you can always use that one tub to put some of your babies or your breeders to clean that top tub, and then just move everybody up one while you clean their tub, and then the bottom tub will be empty, and then you can put them back over in the tubs. So hopefully that answers some questions or get you a little bit more curious about the situation. But I do recommend, if you do breed your own rats and you do keep them inside, it's all about air circulation. Window open, fans blowing out the window. It saves the day, trust me. If I didn't have that window open, and are you able to put rat babies together or separate the individual mother's babies? Okay, here's how I want to respond to that one.
That's easy.
If a mother passes away and she leaves babies, yes, you can put those babies with others, and the other moms will take care of it. Now, when the rats get weaned, and you have 2 or 3 different tubs, yes, you can put them all together, no problem. Just remember this: you do not want to overpopulate a tub, or the stink from that tub will be excessive, and then your rats will get sick from the pneumonia smell, and they'll get a respiratory infection. So what I do is and of course this is only for like a week, because I normally, as soon as they get weaned and I put them in a grow out tub, they normally just grow for about a week, 2 weeks max, because I feed them off. Okay, cool. So never too many weaned in one tub. Correct. That is why I also, in my head and my opinion, I say don't put 1 male and 4 females in one tub, unless you have a maternity rack you can put your pregnant females, because if all 4 of them females have babies at one time, that rack is going to get dirty way too quick. I mean, I'm talking a couple, 3 days, you're going to have to clean that tub. You're going to have, if your mamas give out 10 babies per mom, that's 40 babies you're going to have just in one tub. That's way too many. 3 you can deal with, but 4 is way too many. So that's why I keep 1-to-3 ratio. But I'm also considering, so 2-to-1 in each tub should be cool. You can go 3-to-1, that's fine. That's what I do, 3-to-1, and it works out pretty good. Yes, I get a lot, but by the time they get up to wean size, they're ready to move over, and I pick out like pinkies and stuff like that from those tubs all the time. So it's not like it's going to be overflowed. but 4's a little bit too excessive. But what I'm going to do is on my next rack, and I've seen other people do this, and I'm going to try it myself. I'm going to put 3 females per tub, and then I'm going to rotate 1 male every 2 weeks into each tub. That way, I save on feeding 5 extra males, and I kind of give those females a break. So I'll have 6 tubs, I'll go 1 male, and I'll just keep rotating through the whole rack. By the time he gets down to the bottom, the ones on top will be ready to get pregnant again. He'll go right back to them. That's what I plan on doing with the new rack. I got to build the new rack. I don't know when that's going to happen. I'd like to have it happen by the first of the year, but I think it's going to be a little bit after. But we will see. So does anybody have any questions about anything we covered tonight? Because we did cover quite a bit.
You did?
Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions?
My pizza's almost done.
And of course, she's cooking pizza, but she's cooking. Let's go ask the bird.
I don't know what she's doing. Wait.
Hey, bird.
She's fine. She's watching YouTube.
Hey, bird. You got any questions?
No.
Okay, no questions from the bird. So if they're small or medium, how many can you keep in one tub? I tend smalls, I'll go up to like, and again, this is not for an extended period of time. Smalls, I normally go not more than 17, but that's only for a week and then I feed them off. Mediums, I haven't had mediums for a while, but I wouldn't go over like 8 or 9. That's just in my opinion, because that's just one thing that you need to look at is how often do you clean your rats? If you clean them twice a week, that's fine. Go with a couple more. But remember, and I noticed this when I had a lot, right before I euthanized that whole, I think it was like 85 that one weekend. When I went to dump that tub out, pneumonia smell was bad. But I learned my lesson on it now. And of course you can also tell by the color of the pine too, because it will start discoloring once there's a lot of pee in it. But I also, if there's a lot of rats, like, I'll give you an example. And I've been doing this. I don't do it in all my tubs. A lot of people do it in every single one of their tubs. But to me, it's an added expense, and it don't need to be done if it don't need to be done. But I get that, I think they call it horse pellets for the bedding. It's like $10 a bag, but it's pine pellets. What I do is the tubs that have, as you can tell, there's a lot of babies in here. I mix the pine pellets, which look like, let me grab a couple here. I mix it in with the bedding. I put about a scoop per tub. That way it helps with the smell. It does really help. Like right now I got 2 tubs with it and that's it. To answer your question, so once a week deep clean should be okay. The way I do it is once a week, no matter what. My rats are healthy. Yes, I am getting some that are passing away, but that is solely because they are getting old. So that's why they're starting to pass away. What's going on, LKB? I am raising up new generations. That's why I do need to get a new rack and start plugging in my females there. I am starting to get lower on breeders, but they're keeping up for now. And I have learned my lesson is I do need to keep some from every litter, females held back, so I can progressively grow my collection. For a while, I was solely relying on my breeder groups to produce. Then I held back a couple. Then all of a sudden my older ones started passing away. So yes, I need to start holding them back, which I am. How many rat families do you have? Right now, 12. But a couple of them are 1-to-1 because like today I just found another older female pass away. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. I have a couple of them 1-to-2, but that's only because the female passed away, and the rest of them are 1-to-3. I do not want to introduce a new female to that group, but
Peace out.
I don't want to. Okay. I don't want to add another female to that group because there was babies in there. I don't want to stress out the male or the females with the babies, because if you introduce a new female into the group, you may, and there is babies present, you may cause that mom that has babies to kill the babies. It's not guaranteed, but it may happen. I do not want to do that. I want to keep every baby I can because I do need it for my collection. So I try to do it the safe way. That is why I do it that way. Now, right now, I have about 21 females in there that are about that size. I don't know how many of them are actually going to make it to the size I need because I do have to feed, but I may end up keeping like 7 of them and just kind of keeping more as they grow up. But I don't know yet. It's whatever my snakes need, whatever I don't have frozen thawed, that's what I'll do. You guys have had some great questions. I appreciate the questions. I know I'm not the most knowledgeable person, but I know what works for me. So what works for me may work for you. But just remember to always do your research. Look at how other people do things, because they may do something different that if what I do don't work for you, they might have something that does. So, just to review, what's going on, Gotta Love Carpet Pythons? So let's go ahead and review, for the new viewers, what we've been talking about. So when the rats overpopulate, time to take them out. As far as at what stage are you talking about? So, LKB and Gail. Yes, I remembered your name this time. I introduced 2 males with females. Let me flip the camera around here. I put the pied male in with the het pied female, which, if you're looking, the tails are already laying close to each other. I'm going to open this up very slowly. No, they're not. There's his tail. What's going on, Madeline? So yes, that is the pied male to the het pied female, which is his mom. And then I introduced a new male in with the female. I introduced the yellow belly in with the possible genetic blackback. And somebody, as you can tell, I just cleaned this tub. Somebody's leaving scent marks. Somebody's already leaving scent marks. And you guys just saw I put that male in with that female 15 to 20 minutes ago. And she's already putting marks down. So I'm going to turn that light off. We're going to give them some privacy. Let's see what happens with them. And then we talked about if you want to start your rat breeding, but you just want to do a trial run, the best thing to do is get you a 1-rack system. Build it. It's easy. Well, I did the wrong button. All you gotta do is get you a system like this. I built this one. And you could do it. Just one tub. Put one male, couple females, 3 females in there. Good to go. You'll get your feet wet. Or, if you have racks like those, and all of them are full, you need somewhere to put 1 rack of rats while you start cleaning, build you one of these. That way, you have a 1 tub open at all times to where you can put some babies. Or the rat colony. Let's see what, I seen a question here. What was it? When they get to be too many jumbos, you turn frozen thawed? Yes. I have a 6 tub, but don't have nowhere to get started. Jumbos, I will normally let breed. And, like, for instance, earlier this week, I had a female pass away in a tub. The male I knew was getting old. So what I did was I went ahead and euthanized him and then I cleaned the tub out and then brought another male and female, put in that tub with that other female. They're doing fine. I fed that male that I euthanized to one of my snakes. Yes, it was a big meal for her, but they'll be fine. She'll be fine. She looks bloated, but she'll be okay. We all know that pythons can eat a big meal. They take whatever comes. Typically, they take whatever comes because they don't know when their next meal is. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the female that I fed him to, and you're going to go, whoa, that was a big meal for that snake. Yes, but in reality, that female is actually pretty good size. But you can tell because it did stretch the scales a little bit, but it is a good meal for her. Typically, I do not feed this size of meal to a snake, but I did in this case. I got to figure out which girl it was. Wasn't that one. I think it was this big girl. It was this big girl right here. And you can tell that rat is right in here. So I chatted more with the friend who has given me the snake. She took my advice and is feeding the snake small rats. She also told me about her setup. That is awesome, Madeline. That's going to be a lot healthier. Could a 2,500 gram ball python take down a jumbo? That all depends on how big that big around that 2,500 gram snake is. The reason I say that is that snake can be 2,500 grams but be long and skinny. But that snake can also be short and have a good size diameter to her or him. So that all depends. It's, kind of like, breeding. If you have a 1,500 gram female, typically that's big enough for that female to breed. But if you have a 1,500 gram female that's long and skinny, that's not necessarily a breedable female, in my opinion. You need to have a little bit of fat on them bones so they can produce those follicle growth. Case in point, my female butterfly. That girl is 3 years old. But she has been a picky eater. She was a picky eater before I got her. So, she's small. yes, I'm trying to breed her, but I'm just doing that to see if I can possibly promote her to start eating a lot. She was eating on a regular basis. Past couple weeks, she hasn't really ate. So I might try to throw a live small in there just to see. She would decline a live and eat frozen thawed. But here the past couple weeks, she's declined a frozen thawed. So that's just the game you got to play with some of these snakes. It's sad, but it's true. You never know. That's one reason why I want to... It's going to be loud for a minute. That's the reason why eventually I would like to switch over to African sulfured rats and start feeding them, because that would be healthier for my snakes. Plus, they would eat more often. But on the flip side of that, I do want to get maybe an ARS rack. That's in the plans. Now, I've heard as soon as you go to a darkened tub, their food response gets a lot better. So, I'm counting on all my snakes to be ready to eat as soon as I do that. Well, they can be aggressive unless you work with them. The African sulfureds, you cannot add any new females or males into the colony once that colony has been established. What you got to do is you got to raise up babies and keep the babies in there as breeders if you want. If you want to retire a male or retire one of the females. That's what you got to do. But, yes, they can be aggressive. But rats can be aggressive to your snakes. I had one rat, the only rat that I've ever had to do it. I put it in with one of my snakes, and it would literally run up to the snake and try to bite it. I saw it. I immediately took that rat out, because that is one thing you got to watch when you're feeding live. Is typically you throw that rat in there, boom, you hear a thump and then you hear a squeal. That's good feed. But if you're not hearing anything, you need to look in there and see what's going on, because that rat may be trying to attack that snake. I took that rat out of that snake tub, put it in another one, and that snake didn't want it. So what I did was I took that rat. That's when I had the reptile barn snakes in quarantine. I took that rat, put it in with one of the classics, boom, she took it, no problem. So I did away with it. So that's just a little lesson learned, if you will. Let me get this thing situated. So she is feeding her small rats. How old did you say she was? 2 years? She may almost be big enough for mediums. And mediums will put more meat on her bones. All right. So this has been a little bit of a, she is 2 years old. I'm going to meet the snake on Thursday. Awesome. Do you have a scale or anything at home? If you do, you might take it with you just to weigh it, see about what she weighs. That way you kind of get an idea. What size is a rat ready to breed? About a medium-sized rat. Hi, everyone. How's it going? It's going good. You don't have a scale? Okay, I thought about adding a GHI to the collection. I want to get a super GHI. Exactly. If you don't have a scale, it would be a good idea to get one. That way you can kind of keep track of the weight of that snake. If that snake goes on a fast and don't eat, you can track it. Because if it don't, sorry about that, if it goes off feed and it loses a lot of grams, there may be something wrong with it. And then you need to get it checked out. But a ball python can go off food for a long time and be fine. Case in point, I've had a couple in my collection go off food for 6 months. I've had one go off for 12. They turned out fine. But as a beginning reptile keeper, kind of stressed me out a little bit. But that is how ball pythons are. If you get a retic, if you get a Burmese, I don't even think corn snakes really go off feed. Any of them, they'll eat readily. Boas, they'll eat like crazy. But with boas, you got to watch that when they're babies, they like to bite. So you need to watch that. But yes, you can buy a scale off of Amazon cheap. That's where I got mine at. And you want to weigh your snakes in grams. Not ounces, but grams. Hopefully, that helps you out some. I try to be educational on my end of telling you guys what works for me and what don't work for me. That way, you guys know, hey, what I'm doing is not working, so let me try what he does. If that works, that might work for me. I'll buy one then. Maybe Walmart. Walmart does have them. Let me show you the one I got. I didn't get mine at Walmart. I got it off Amazon. Let me look here. And it's a good scale, but I think Walmart does have them. This here's the one I have. It measures ml in grams, pounds, ounces, pounds and ounces, and then ml. I always use G for gram. For instance, let's go ahead and weigh one of my snakes. I don't want to put them in a bowl or anything, so I'll get a small one. Let's just use one of the new ones. Well, she's kind of wrapping her water bowl. Don't really want to mess with the water bowl. So we're going to go ahead and get this pastel hypo. This is my new girl. This is the pastel hypo. Helen Gillis. Yes, it is a food scale. Look at that blushing on that head. All right. So, I'm going to turn this scale around, or this phone around. Hopefully, she'll cooperate, but as you can tell, she thinks she's a retic. Try to... All right, this is not working out. Here we go. Let me see if I can do it this way. I'm going to hold it with my chin, so I'm going to see if I can get her to ball up a little bit. It's a little bit more difficult to get these guys to ball up when they're this size and not a baby. About 212 grams. But that's all it takes. And she's a runner, so I got to be careful when I put her up that I don't close her head in the tub. What should the capacity range be? I don't know exactly how old she is. I think she's about 3 months old, 4 months old. This is a Let me show you the capacity of this one. Let me know when you got that. You got all your information off of it? If you got all your information off of it, I'll go ahead and put it down. Just want to make sure you get everything. All right, there you go. Hopefully that helps. And you might grab you a temp gun if they don't have one. I think these batteries are dead. That one is. Where's my other one at? Where's my other one? There it is. You might grab you a temp gun while you're at it so you can check that hot spot because you want that hot spot to be right on point. Case in point. Of course, it's going to be a little bit cooler because I pulled it off. Let me go ahead and get another one. Actually, let's pull this one off here. Let's see if I can do it this way. I got to be quick and I got to point it at the right area. That one is 89.6. Perfect. I might lower that rack, just lower these two just a little bit, because if them hot spots get too hot with males, it can kill the sperm and make them non-viable. But they'll be fine because I know keeping them that temperature is fine. But if there's any spikes, then that could be a problem. So hopefully that helped you out some. I kind of like this setup the way I have it because I use this here as a tabletop. When I do clean my tubs or I have anything to do, I just clear this off and I have the whole section here for a table. Makes a lot of difference. But I'm thinking about, my friend is going to give me the setup when I am ready to pick the snake up. I'm going to see what all she has. When are you actually picking the snake up and bringing it home? I may actually be reorganizing a little bit once again and taking this, putting it back in the rat room. I might be bringing my incubator out here and putting it out here, setting it up. That way I can put my stickers on it and start showing off stickers. So that's something that I may do. I don't know yet because once I do that, that's going to have to be moved back here, or because I don't think it'll fit on the incubator because it's too wide. So yes, that's what's going on there. But other than that, not much is going on. We went over quite a bit of stuff here. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit more than maybe what you did know, or a little bit more about what I do that I never really talk about. Just remember, if you want to recommend me show anything, go over anything, based on the info my friend gave me, I will have to buy a bigger hut and water bowls. She posted a picture on Twitter and her snake is too big for one of the huts. The water bowl is not really that big a deal if the humidity is fine. Yes, they can soak in the water bowl, but what substrate are you going to be using for that snake? That's the question. And Do you live in a dry climate or a humid climate? Like I'm in Florida, it's humid, so I don't really have to worry about humidity. That's a trick. That's a good question there. But she uses shredded coconut shells. But I may get something else. Do you have a lot of humidity where you're at, or is it a dry? Like dry Kansas, wet Florida. Iowa is dry in the winter, humid in the summer. I would stick with cocoa fiber, which shredded coconut shells. Yeah, I would use something that you could that's like Pro Cocoa or Reptichip, or you can also use Reptile Prime. Anything like that to hold humidity, that's going to help you out some. And you can also, which I did with mine when I had all mine or my 2 tanks with snakes in them, is you put a damp towel over 3/4 of the tank. That will trap the humidity in it and make the humidity higher. But since I live in Florida, I don't have to worry about the humidity. That's why I can get away with paper. So, hopefully, that helps out some also. I'm tempted on going with Reptichip, but I want to wait till I get to the ARS racks that I want to get before I do that. ARS racks are good. I expect to have a better food response with the ARS tubs. So, and of course that is more money, but I want the best for my snakes. So I just got to decide what size of racks I want, what I want to do, and it's probably going to be hopefully before middle of next year is what I'm looking at before I get them. But I want all my snakes in ARS racks. I can use all of them for quarantine racks. That's my thoughts. I'm also wanting to get a ARS rack for my rats. And then have all them as grow out, all my racks now as grow out tubs. And then have the have the ARS racks as my breeding tubs. But that's going to be about it for today. I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. If you have any questions or anything like that, you want to get in touch with me if you want me to do a certain video or whatnot, look me up on Instagram at DCR Reptiles. And I'm also available at dcrreptiles@gmail.com. If you have any questions, concerns, anything to that nature, email me, message me. Feel free, I will answer. But I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for tonight. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, What's Up Wednesday and Twist 'em Up Thursday, Wednesday. I'll probably post a video of my friend's setup, or at least one of the snakes on Thursday. Okay, that is awesome. Madeline, you are welcome. Again, if you need anything, just give me a shout and I'll help you out. So, until Wednesday, I will talk to you guys in the next live.